Hello and welcome to Tarot with Priyanka. This is my first video. We're doing February 2025. I have Tarot and Lenormand that I use to do a 4-week reading. So I'm not going to introduce myself and all those kind of things. I will do that in a separate video. But today we're going to do the reading, and I'm going to do the reading for each individual sign. So there will be timestamps for each of your signs. Don't forget to go and check out your moon signs and any other prominent signs for you. So, you know, if you check your astrology chart and you find that you've got some prominent signs in that time, you can check out whatever signs are sort of sitting there for you at the moment. But we will get started. Welcome, Aries, to your February 2025 reading. What have we got for you? Okay, week 1, we're looking at some new ideas, potentially in finance, so maybe some new beginnings. Our pentacles represent earthly matters, but also finances. So if you have a new idea in business or in work or in something like that, this is something that could be sitting there for you in the first week of February. Coupled with our flower, our beautiful blooming lotus flower, we can see that that is a good idea. So whatever's sitting there for you, if it's a fresh idea or a new beginning or something that you're embarking on at the moment, it's gonna be a good thing for you to do that. So sit with that one for a bit and stick with whatever's kind of sitting there for you on that one. Moving into week 2, sort of feeling a little bit defeated. So this card comes up when we've just we may be having difficult communications, when it feels like everything's against us. So you might have bumped heads with some people. You may have been having some inner dialogue that's not really serving you. But it's sort of like a chance to actually stay down and just take it in for a little while. Consider what's going on for you. What are your thoughts? What are your, how can you kind of approach those things better? Because you may feel a little bit stabbed in the back, as we can see in the cards. This could be something to do, if you've got kids, this could be something to do with your children and your relationship there. Or if you don't have kids and it's sort of more to do with like a personal matter within yourself, it could be to do with that feeling of your sort of inner child and like a playfulness that is sort of you're feeling at odds with. So yeah, moving into week 3, our pentacles show us that you may be in a position where you can give again. So coming from our week 1, when the ideas were fresh and new, they were feeling good. Week 2 might have been a bit clunky and tricky. You might have come up against some tricky conversations, and it could kind of, lean into these kind of things as well that you've been sort of dealing with when we've got a new idea. Oftentimes, it seems all fun and fresh at the beginning, and then once you start to get into it, that's when the cracks start to show, and that's when you come up against heads. You might come up against people who don't necessarily want the same things for you, and so that's that clunky time that you've got to work through. But it looks like as we move into week 3, either somebody's going to gift something to you that you need, or you may be ready to start giving again. You're going to have a lot more balance. You're going to have a lot more success in your finances, and that sort of, you're going to be back in an equilibrium again. So nothing sort of like hugely fruitious, but, oh, there you go. I speak too soon. It will be fruitious. So our fish represents finance, and so it definitely is in that realm of financial success. So whatever you've been working on is going to start to pay off come week 3, especially come week 4 when we've got the Wheel of Fortune. So you're going to be back in a position where you're going to be feeling like everything's at your disposal again. You're going to have opportunities. There's going to feel like, it may even feel a little bit overwhelming. So sometimes when we've got this many, good things happening. It can actually become kind of overwhelming in a way. So, you know, with your Aries spirit, you know, you tend to go for everything and you're very motivated and driven and you're a leader. So, you know, it's back in your hands again. Okay, coupled with the Scythe, there may be some endings that come with that too. So there may be some things that you need to cut ties with to be able to access what it is that's next for you. And there may be some things that end for you that you may have not expected. Maybe you wanted some things to happen and they might just not work out. But you know, those kind of things at the time feel hard, but moving forward, they do tend to, you know, end up being for the good. So we've also got a new moon this season, this month. So coming into February, first week, we're fresh. So we're really in that time of rebuilding. We're moving into the waxing moon. So you really are, through that week of February, that first, you know, that first time of the year, we're really like coming into like a rebuilding. So you're starting with this idea, you're moving through, finding it a little bit tricky, coming up against some odds. Things are going to start to smooth out, and then you're in a place where you can start to get rid of the things that are not serving you in these realms anymore, ready to move on for the next thing, because you have a lot of good things at your disposal come the end of February. So tricky, clunky month for you perhaps, but I think that with your beautiful Aries spirit, you will find a way to take leadership and take it on and power through. Good luck to you, Aries. Welcome, Taurus, to your 2025 February reading. Let's see what we've got in store for you. Oh, that's a bouncy one. We might pop that one in then. We have week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. What was this one that kind of popped out straight away? Okay, that's exciting. Well, don't you have a busy month coming up? Week 1, we can see some partnerships, some unity, some collaborations, some really beautiful sharing. So if you have been, it could be a relationship. Let's have a look and see what it kind of adds to. Okay, beautiful. It's probably a friendship. So if we're looking at partnerships and friendships, this is going to be a relationship that is going to be in your benefit. So our dogs represent loyalty, a companionship. You know, the dogs are really easy to train, you know, like they listen to us and they respond to us, and so we can work with them. So when that comes in a relationship, it's somebody who you can work with and build a rapport and really like foster that relationship. So that's coming up for you in week 1, that sort of beneficial partnership. Moving into week 2, we kind of see a lot of similar things. There are really going to be those partnerships still, and there are going to be a lot of like collaborations. But with the moon, we're just kind of asked to just dig a little bit deeper and have a look at some of the things maybe that we don't see at first glance. So the moon represents the darkness, it represents the feminine, represents that time when we go inwards to ponder and to think about things. So we're really looking at that time of balance. So if there's anything that is sort of sitting there for you that needs to come up, it may need a little bit to dig a little bit deeper. Coupled with the Tower card of Lenormand. Tower card in Lenormand is very different to Tower in Tarot. So Tarot obviously represents upheaval and things like that. The Lenormand cards are actually more to do with a structure. So it could be home, it could be work. So if this is sitting there and it's to do with a work partnership, that's what that is. Or if it's a relationship in the home, then that's what that's to do with. And that kind of probably will give you some insight into what this relationship is about too, whether it's a home or work relationship. But yeah, just keep your eyes open and dig that little bit deeper when you don't have the clear cut vision of what is in front of you. Moving into week 3, and it's victorious. So this card is a celebration. It's that time when a lot of your ideas have come to play and we're celebrating. We're moving forward. It's definitely nowhere near in completion, but we actually have some really exciting things to celebrate. So you might have had these amazing ideas that are just starting to get to the point where it's like, yeah, we're ready to move forward. So there'll be a feeling of warmth and completion, and not even just like the thing that you think that's sort of sitting there isn't necessarily complete, but you will feel like you're like in a place of ready, like you've come past that peak and you're ready to go forward. This could be to do with yourself if you're a female. It could be to do with a female around you, maybe a boss, maybe a loved one. So this is definitely represents that feminine energy. So if there's anyone around you that really jumps out to you, that is that kind of strong feminine energy around you, then this will be to do with that. So that's exciting. If it's to do with yourself as well, like if this kind of card resonates for you as it meaning for yourself, then that's awesome too. You've got this sort of moment of feeling really clear and excited and ready to move forward. There's a lot of brightness there. This is one of our luckiest cards in the deck. So our King of Cups, we are definitely moving forward. So this gut feeling that you have, you know, it's to do with our emotions and our feelings. And if you've got that gut feeling to move forward, then that's going to be lucky. So this card is definitely asking you to trust your gut and to keep taking those steps forward. And to really feel into your emotions and your feelings when it comes to this endeavor, because there is definitely luck on your side. So this is one of our luckiest cards for Lenormand. You know, if you're getting this card, it's a definite thumbs up. So if you were sitting there and umming and ahhing over whether it's a yes or a no, I'm going to go ahead and say it's a yes. So how exciting for you, Taurus. Your beautiful warmth and kindness is definitely going to serve you this month. So just keep on checking in with yourself, making sure that things resonate in the right way, and you'll be off to a good start for the year. Welcome, Gemini, to your 2025 February reading. Let's have a look to see what is sitting there for you this month. Oh, all Pentacles. Okay. Cool. Okay. You've got a busy month, Gemini. So I'm just seeing that there is a lot to do with finance for you this month. So I think there is going to be a lot of decisions in your workplace and anything to do with money. So first of all, week 1, 5 of Pentacles. It's a bit of a journey that you are probably in the middle. So I feel that maybe you're right in the middle of something that's happening for you. So if there's something for work or a new idea that you've got in business or something to do with finances or to do with your like day-to-day dealings in that kind of way, there is definitely something sitting there for you that is in halfway. The heart, that's good. It's something... It's a little bit softened. So if we can see the heart in a reading, it means that it can be to do with a relationship, but it can also just sometimes soften, you know, a positive card can soften the intensity of another card. So it's possible that if this is to do with a relationship and to do with something like I'm finding, like I'm really feeling that this is something to do with like homes and to do with like housing. So if you are in the process of moving or building or dealing with, you know, finances to do with your home and like to do with a relationship, I think that is going to, you're right in the hump zone for now, but it's on the way up and over. So coming into week 2 where we can see those conversations take place. So if there's something that you've been working towards, we're starting to see them take place in week 2. So it may even feel like you're taking, you know, 1 step forward and 2 steps back over this sort of first half of the month. But it looks like it's all kind of moving forward. Okay, so now's the time to really make some strong decisions. So the whip will crack you into alignment. It can mean an ending. So if there's something that has been sort of like on the go, you may feel like it's ending, and that may be something that needs to happen. Or it could just be that it feels like that. It feels like you've just been working really, really hard to kind of get, you know, that, again, 2 steps forward, well, 1 step forward, 2 steps back kind of feeling. So if that's happening for you, then that's, you know, time to check in and just kind of keep going, because as we move into week 3, you are back making a new plan. So we are back chipping away, and you have come so far. So we can see all the hard work that has happened already, and you're still going, like you're still just chipping away. So don't forget to look up and see how far you've come, because they may feel like things were like heading in a direction and then just ending. And that's really frustrating, but you actually have done more work and more groundwork than it seems. Our dog represents loyalty and companionship, and, you know, that notion of training. So if there's somebody around you, like it looks like you will have some support, maybe a good friend who can, you know, just really help to back you up in this time, and to help sort of, you know, you will have some relationships to lean upon. So you're not going to be alone while you're trying to deal with all of these things. Like you will have support and companionship, and someone, like a soft landing, you know, somebody to lean into. We've got a reverse card here. So this is the 10 of Pentacles, and this right side up really means sort of like real abundance and fruition and things like that. I would say that you are very, very close to this being the part. It is reversed, so it's not quite there yet. I'm just really feeling that this is like you are right at the crux, and I think towards the end of February, it's possible that you're going to feel like a bit like stuck and pulled, and like you've just been working so hard towards something, and that it's so close to being done, which can be a really frustrating part to be in. I'm really sensing houses, so there you go. I said it before, there it is. I think this is to do with housing and a home project. So if you're feeling like all of your hard work is just like right up against the edge, you are so close, so close. So moving into next month, it'll be really interesting to see what pops up for you for March, because March is a real breathing out time. February can tend to be this like boiling up. So we've come from January, where it's, you know, the new year, everyone's setting their goals, and, you know, we want to kind of, you know, get off to a great start. There's still a lot of holidaying going on, so we're kind of in this funny limbo time. February is the time where it's time to leave some things behind, and we're ready to move into the new. March is when we really start to see some of that newness kind of come about. So you're going to feel that pressure towards the end of Feb, but just keep going, because we can see that you're so close. You're so close to getting there. So stick with it, Gemini, because you're right on the cusp, right on the cusp. All the best. Welcome, Cancer, 2025 February reading. You can see I'm no card shark. My shuffling is clunky. Okay, what have we got for you this month? How exciting. Yeah, cool. Okay, you have a strong month coming up. So starting out on February 1st, the star represents things that are sparkly and wonderful, and, you know, everything looks like it's very attractive. So it can be a bit of a thumbs up. So if you are, you know, thinking about something, maybe like a new plan or something sort of going into the new month, this is a bit of a thumbs up. I feel that with the star, it's not something new. This is not something that is a new thing that has happened. Like whatever you're ready to jump into, you have put the work in so far for this, and this is your thumbs up that it's like ready to go. So it's really about you finding balance and really like feeling into your sort of gut feelings when it comes to this as well. So yeah, okay, beautiful. So the garden represents like a place to go to feel complete. So if the garden shows in a reading, it's like a sanctuary, right? So that can kind of be within yourself, or if you've got somewhere that you can go to get those messages, then this is kind of your calling to go to that place. Go and find your sanctuary, and go and find that place where you can find answers, because there's a lot of things sitting there you know, the stars, there's that thing about that the stars are out all the time, but you only see them at nighttime. So these ideas and these exciting things and all of these wonderful things that you're aiming towards and that you have sitting there, they're there all the time. You just might find them a little bit easier when you can go within and take some time to notice them. So this is your calling to find that sanctuary, find that place, either within yourself or if there's a place that you can actually physically go to feel the calm and be centered within yourself. This is where you'll find the answers. Coming into week 2, you're going to feel a little bit defeated. So maybe some of those things that were sitting there that were exciting and shiny, sometimes the reality when it comes to actually making them happen can be, you know, that's when we kind of come up against problems. So, and we see that a lot in like 4-week month readings, because we kind of begin with all guns blazing, like any new idea we get in and it's exciting, and all the fun parts of dreaming up a new thing or something that you've worked towards has become at a point where it can actually move forward. And then when it does, you know, once you pass that honeymoon phase, then the cracks start to show. But this is really important because this is where you can shift the things that don't need to be there anymore. So you are still supported and you still have things going on that work in your favor, but it's really easy to focus on the bad things when you've worked so hard. So this is a reminder just to kind of like check in with yourself. This is the anchor. So the anchor really says that it is time to pull your reins in and to just like center yourself. So there's a real pull for you to, and actually seeing that with the garden card as well, side by side, we're really getting this pull to like center yourself and to check in. So all of these outwards things that you're doing, they're all exciting and great, and it looks like they're all very beneficial, but you do need to sort of balance that with the checking in of yourself. High Priestess, if this represents you, if you resonate with this card as that this is for you, then it's coming into that place of balance and mastery. You can kind of see, amazing. Okay, so this can be you, or this could be somebody around you who is like a leader or somebody that can guide you. So if you've got a really great mentor, or maybe if you're looking for a mentor, they will present themselves. But if it's just kind of coming from what I was saying about needing to go within, you may find that you get that inner sense of mastery. And the sun just says that that is a really beautiful thing. So luck is on your side. The sun is shining down. Things will look clearer. So once things are like illuminated, it's so much easier for you to be able to see what needs to happen. And you're going to be feeling in charge, which is exciting when you've just felt so lost after the last week, to feel back in charge with that. Coming into week 4, there may be some toing and froing. So now that you've come so far with this, there may be some sort of like treachery in a way. So it's really important that in this time, if anything like lack of truth comes up for you, that's going to be the time where like it will come out. So if you've been hiding something or not telling the truth on a situation, probably now is the time that it's either going to come out on its own, or that you can start to find a truth in that. But if somebody has been untruthful to you, they will get found. So if you've been finding, okay, that's interesting too. Coming into the moon, it's those things that you don't see straight away. So the moon really represents the things that are hidden a little bit at first, but if you look a little bit harder, then they're there. And as the moon, like we're coming into the new moon this month, so first week of Feb is a new moon, and we're going to be building up into the waxing moon, which is a really beautiful time for like leaning into the energy of a new idea. But you may feel like there still needs to be some time for those things to fully show themselves. They are going to. So this may be a little bit further on down the track too, but things are going to start to resurface, and some things that needed to come out are going to. So they might just take a little bit longer, but things can't sit under the dark for too long, because once we've reached that phase where the moon comes and it shines down, so much more is illuminated, and we're seeing that with the sun as well. So there'll be a lot of showing for you. So keep that inner strength and really work on trying to find balance between the outwards things that you're doing and the inner answers that you need, and trust that when the answers come out, some of the baggage around that is going to be shed and you will have some clarity. Welcome, Leo, to your February 2025 reading. What have we got for you this month? Okay. So coming into week 1, you're feeling like there's some new beginnings again. So week 1 of February, we often feel like we're starting again, all over again in a way. Like all of those ideas that you've had in January coming up for the new year, or the New Year's resolutions, they tend to be a little bit more sort of geared towards like where you've come from. But moving into February, we start to get a bit of a shake up of like where we're going to go. And this is your time now to keep on dreaming up those new ideas. You're about to kick off again. So you've got some new things sitting there, some fresh ideas, some fresh dreams in a way, and you're starting to get ready to be able to move forward. So this anchor coupled with this card will say to just kind of pause a little bit. So keep on dreaming up the dreams and keep on, collating these new ideas that you're having, but really stay put for where you are while they're still new. So we've still got this newness. We're still kind of like pondering, still weighing up our options. We're still looking over what there is to go. This is like just before we go on a journey. So it's that point where you're almost ready to step off, but you're not quite ready yet. And the anchor here says that we're not quite ready yet, but we're just going to stay put for a little while, spend a little bit more time on the dreams. Moving into week 2, the Magician. That's a beautiful card to come off the back of week 1, because it means that all of those ideas and those like fresh kind of dreams and aspirations that we've had, we're going to get a clearer and more exciting view on those. So this is a great card to get with the Magician, because it means like messages and chitter chatter and like new information. So we're going to be getting some new information to do with these things that we're dreaming up. So you're going to probably feel like you're pretty honed in with your like psychic abilities as well. So really like trust your mind and, trust your intuition, because you're going to be receiving these messages and these sort of like almost like downloads in a way, and they are going to be really beneficial. There is nothing in here to say that there's any reason not to believe what is going on. So you'll have these little sparks of inspiration, these little moments of clarity. Moving into week 3, when it starts to just feel a little bit like a heavy load to carry. So you may be feeling like some of these things, or these like dreams and exciting things that you have, you're like, how am I going to get these from point A to point B? Like, how on earth am I going to execute all of these exciting things that I've dreamed of? Like, it feels like it's just me. I'm on my own. I'm having to like wade through all of this information, and it just feels so much to carry. And so I'm seeing a real pattern here with the anchor receiving messages, feeling a little bit overloaded, but this need to stay rooted and this need to sort of like stay in your center. So the tree represents beautiful growth and, longevity and deep roots. But I can also see coming into week 4 that we're going to need to spend some time with ourselves as well, because the Hanged Man is like when you're feeling kind of stuck, and it's definitely self-proclaimed, like it's a self-driven kind of stuckness. So there is nothing around you that's actually making you stuck. It's just that feeling of being stuck. And that for a Leo that wants to go, if we're not seeing action all the time, then basically it's like it's all or nothing. We want to be moving, otherwise we're just like, oh, it's just the end, we're stuck. It's just, we're a little bit dramatic. And the Hangman can be a little bit dramatic because they're hanging there with nothing actually hanging them. So your hands aren't tied, your hands are free to move at any moment, but sometimes you do just need to be in limbo for a little bit until the really good things come. So, and with the anchor over here, you know, we are seeing a need to be able to like center yourself and come into your own kind of, you know, self in that. So coupled with the home, I'm just sensing that it's time just to stay a little bit inward. So you've got some really exciting things bubbling away, and it's very like heady, like it's very much in your mind and it's very intuitive. So you could be coming up with some new plans, like some new ideas. You may be working on your spirituality, maybe working on your intuition, maybe working on, you know, telepathy and things like that. So if you're sitting there with any of these kind of things, it's going to be really important for you to stay quiet and receive those messages. So when everything's feeling a little bit on the heavy side and it's just you, like we can get a little bit stuck in our heads. And so just there is that feeling. And I think, you know, it really is more of a feeling than it is the reality. So very much around the home card of being like very self and sort of like in that smaller kind of way. So yeah, you're gonna be having some fresh ideas, which is exciting. Let them simmer, trust them, let them sit, and just, you know, really center that time and center yourself and allow the messages to come through. Don't be too hard on yourself when it doesn't feel like things are moving forward as quickly as you would like them to. Just let them unfold and unfurl, because you will have more clarity that way. Good luck to you, Leo. Hello, Virgo. Welcome to your 2025 February reading. Okay. So week one, we're seeing this in a lot of readings of new beginnings and new ideas. We're seeing a lot of newness, pages, knights, aces, like all of these cards that really represent this, these new ideas and a new beginning. So this is definitely that. This is a very new idea. It's a very new relationship or conversation that you've been having. So to do with communication. So there could be a new job in communications, or maybe you've accessed this way to be able to get your point across that, you know, you've just stumbled across these new skills. But there is something in here that is like some fresh, exciting ideas, and especially around the realms of communication. So coupled with our tree, that's a beautiful, like deep rooted, you know, like point of longevity. So these new kind of like skills that you're learning, these sort of like ways of getting your point across, these are things that are going to stay with you for a long time, and they're going to be really beneficial. So whatever's sitting for you in that, keep going with this and keep sticking with this, because this is going to be something that has a lot of positivity to it. So you're really getting given a helping hand. So if you find that someone comes to you with some kind of you know, they want to speak to you about something, or maybe someone pulls you aside and says like, oh, hey, I want to have a meeting, or a friend who's like, hey, I've got something that I really need to tell you about, it's going to be something that really helps you. It's going to work in your favor. It's someone actually gifting something to you. Moving into week two, the Emperor. So this could be a boss or like a prominent you know, figure of authority in your life. So if there's something that's been happening for you in week one that's to do with work and to do with maybe a boss, it could be that in week two things are feeling a little bit murky. So it may be hard to communicate. And so we're getting these early stages of communication in week one, but it may feel a little bit clunky coming into week two. So maybe there is, you know, maybe between these 2 weeks, there is that kind of point of disdain. I know a lot of people are going back to work at the moment, coming off of holidays. So there's a lot of new beginnings in that way for everybody. Also coming into the dark moon and moving into the new moon at the beginning of February there, this is the time where things can get a little bit lost in communication. So we can see that happening with the clouds, sort of like, you know, clouding that relationship. So if there's sort of an authority figure in your life, someone who, you know, you speak to regularly, it could even be like a parent or somebody like that, but somebody who you need to report to in a way. Don't be surprised if the sort of relationship and the communication there is a little bit on the dusty side. It may just need a little bit of time to come clear. Moving into week 3, where we see Temperance, and things do start to clear up a little bit. So you're really looking for balance, and you're really looking for flow in your relationships and, you know, your surroundings. So this is going to be the time when you need to trust your gut and really lean into like how a situation feels. So if it feels right, it probably is right. And if it feels not right, it probably isn't right. Lucky for you, there will be something in there that just clicks and makes sense. So the key is like that unlocking. So we will get that moment where you're like, oh, that's what it is. This was like a missing part. It's almost like the piece of the puzzle. So that's really nice to see after some clouds as well, because although things are going to feel a little bit misty and hard to, you know, understand and transpire, I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for, but you know, those kind of things that we transcribing maybe, we're going to get those answers. We're going to get those things that kind of come about that just go, oh, I can see it now. Like this is the piece that I've been missing. But that's going to create some balance for you, but it's going to come with you just really like leaning into your own gut feelings on things. Moving into week 4, where we see the Lovers. So this is always a beautiful card to do with like many aspects of that female and male balance. So it could be a relationship. So if you're in a relationship, this is a really beautiful time to kind of lean into those kind of things. So with the Lenormand card of the iceberg, it could be that like things have been feeling like hard to overcome. So if that's kind of surrounding you at the moment, that in your relationship things are feeling like they're kind of coming to an edge, they could be feeling a little bit like icy. So this is the time to kind of look at that. If you are in a relationship, that could be the case. If you are single, really hard to like look at, when we're coming from something like Temperance, where it's about the balance, so is the Lovers. And so this is that, you know, balance of trying to balance your feelings and your emotions. This one's about trying to balance like the male and female aspects of your life. And if we're looking at male and female, we're not just looking at gender, we're looking at the female aspect being that point of going inwards and information and, you know, pondering things and learning, whereas the male aspect is that drive forward and that action. So try to find the balance between those, because there may be a little bit of like unclearness. So the icicle can be that sort of, yeah, it's tricky to see the other side and know where to go with it. So coming in, it's going to be maybe a little bit tricky to figure out what's what in that last part of the month. If you're in a relationship, it might be coming up against some communication barriers, but just know that that's going to be a prominent thing for you that month. So new ideas, exciting kind of things that are going to be some really long-term lessons and goals for you, but a lot of relationship sort of clunkiness. So really looking to part those clouds, get that information and find what's the learning or what's the lesson, maybe what's you and what's not. If you're looking at balance, what out of this situation has to do with you and what is actually somebody else's energy. So there's going to be a lot of inward seeking and trying to understand the clunkiness and the weirdness that's going to be floating around you for February. So best of luck with that, beautiful Virgos, and I look forward to hearing that you have found some balance. Welcome, Libra, February 2025. What has this month got in store for you? Okay. So this looks like it's going to be quite a big month for you and a lot of push and pull. So coming into the first week, almost every reading that I've done so far has had these early stages of a new idea. So the Page of Sword is, again, this sort of like just the beginning. You might be ready to just like cut through some crap and some like really start to hone down what the situation is looking like for you. There may be some conversations that are about to transpire for you that are ready for you to move forward. So if you've got some plans and things that you've made, you're getting ready to be able to have those conversations that are needed to be able to move forward to the next thing. But they are still new and they probably feel a little bit unclear at the moment. So it's okay just to sit with that for a little while. If this is to do with finances, because the fish represents money and finances, maybe just sit with those things that you want to kind of come clear about for just a little bit longer. So maybe if you're trying to get some of your finances in line and there are some phone calls that you need to make and things like that, it's finding order and maybe a little bit more planning is needed. So the Page often comes when there's something that's almost ready to go, but a little bit more planning is needed. There's not the mental clarity yet to be able to know exactly what you're looking for. So that's going to take a little bit more time, but not a lot of time because it's very much in the present. Moving into week 2, there may be some conversations that are hurtful that need to happen. So you may be feeling pretty defeated by whatever's going on for you in that time, just feeling a little bit like everything has just got you down and you don't know how to kind of come back from it. It's a time of rest, so you really do need to take that time and try to understand what is going on in that situation for you. So this is pretty strong cards to see up against each other because, you know, this is definitely the heaviness, and the scythe represents just like a clean cut, like it is done. So there may be some like something that has been happening that has felt like an ending, and it will be an ending. Like this is a pretty clear, like just cutting, done, like no more. There may be some arguments or some strong words that have kind of come about, and now you are ready to see that end. So embrace that ending because it isn't going back. Like this isn't moving forward. This is a very clear, strong ending. Like this is really your moment to go, no, I'm done. Walk away. This is it now. Moving into week 3, where it's still pretty up. So like this is like action, busyness, like everything's kind of like go, 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 go. But it's more to do with things like ideas and dreams and like things in your mind. So you may be having a lot of ideas kind of coming in, and like it could feel harsh. Like there's definitely a harshness to this card. So whatever, like if this is a clear cut ending, then you are going to be ready for new things to come in, and they're going to come in hard and fast. So it maybe feel a little bit overwhelming. It's maybe quite a big month for you, just in those like sharp endings and like big new beginnings. And you may not know what that has to do with yet. So if you are working in something that has to do with writing or books or, you know, library or anything like that that has to do with like books and reading and writing, that's going to be leaning into that. So maybe you have an idea for a book or some writing that you're going to be doing or anything in that realm. If you don't, these are just to say that these ideas are coming in hard and fast, but you don't really know where they're going yet. So you might feel a little bit like there's just a lot, but nowhere to really place anything. The devil doesn't really help with that either. So like, I think that's something that's going to sit with that for a little bit longer, because the devil comes when it's like someone like that notion of just like poking around. So you're still going to feel like you have a lot of opinions and things like that around you. So if that is to do with like somebody that you're working with, like I would say just keep a bit of an eye out going into that 4th month, that somebody else's opinions and like their own agenda doesn't influence what you have to think about this, because, you know, you're a sensitive person. Libras definitely tend to take things to heart, and they take things like sometimes bigger than what they are, and then have to pull back and like re-understand what that means. And so try not to jump on anything too quickly, because I think you're going to be getting a lot of opinions and ideas and other people's kind of like influence on whatever's happening for you at the moment, and it's not ready for you to act on. It's not at a place where you can actually make changes. You're kind of collating all the information coming, but none of it is ready for you to actually action. So don't take anybody's words as gospel. Make sure that when you make a decision and you're starting to gain clarity, which I don't think is going to happen for you in February, but it may come from this moving through the year and moving into March, when we start to come out of that sort of like honeymoon phase and more into like the planning kind of area. Just don't take too many other people's intuition or opinions and things like that into your intuition. Make sure that it is based on like what you believe it to be. Okay, so a big month for you, Libra, but I think that as long as you keep on checking in with yourself and trusting yourself, you'll get the answers that you're looking for, because you've got some strong endings but new beginnings. Blessed be. Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to your February 2025 reading. Let's see what the month has for you. I feel like it wouldn't be a Scorpio reading if the Justice card wasn't in there. Scorpios like to see justice. Okay, so week 1, we see justice. So Scorpios like justice. They like to see the rules be met. They like to see systems be played out. And if there is something sitting you that you're looking for that needs a completion, maybe something to do with like law or paperwork or contracts or things like that, if there's something that you've been waiting for answers to see some closure, this is the time when it's going to happen. You are going to be able to find that you will get the balance and the answers that you're seeking to be able to move forward. So it's going to feel good as well, because like I said, Scorpios do like that information and that rules to be followed well and systems to be in place. The stork carries good news with that too. So our stork is that carrier, that bringer of news and information. It can also mean that like a newness and a new beginning too. So with the Justice card, often we do see a bit of a new beginning coming afterwards, because there is a closure that comes with getting the answers that you're looking for. So that's going to feel very prominent too. We've got a major arcana card here. So this is not a small thing. This is like something that has really been a prominent feature for you. So look forward to getting some of those answers that you've been looking for. Going into week 2, you're going to be so ready to move on. So you're going to be considering what possibilities are about. You're going to be weighing up, where to go next. And you're going to kind of feel like you've got the world at your feet, which is really exciting. So it's not a time of like actioning those kind of things. You're going to be really sitting with these ideas and like planning. Like this is the time when you look at all of your options and look at all of the things, consider all of the things that are around you, because you're so ready. Like you're so ready to see those. This could be especially good if it's to do with work. If you work from home as well. So if this is like a new business venture or something that you've been, ready to do under an infrastructure. So something like if you're working at a building, if you are looking at building or something like that, like if you're looking at creating a place of business for yourself, or if it's, a new job, these are some things that are going to be prominent for you. But like I said, like not necessarily ready, but they're starting to, it's like you're going to be having fun doing this planning phase, because in week 3, this is the ideas start to drop back in again, and you just have those aha moments. You're like, eureka, I've got it, I am ready. And you're going to start to implement some of those things. So you're going to be well supported in that too, because there's a real action and people are going to start to want to be part of this. So you've dreamed up these ideas, you've spent the time considering all the options, you've been very tactful and very Scorpio about all of those, and very like putting all the places, considering all your options. And when people see that kind of detail and that attention and that caring, they are going to want to be on board. So it's a good, strong month for you in that third week coming into that. So this can represent yourself and just being like, yes, that is me, I am ready. This can be a strong female around you. So if there's somebody that's ready to come and give you a hand, like, she will come and present herself. So you're going to be very strong within yourself or very well supported. And again, it's sunny days coming into week 4. And I think, you know, a Scorpio wouldn't have it any other way. You are very good at being able to cut through all the junk and find the shiny gems in a situation. And that is something that I think, you know, people don't realize with Scorpios, that they will look for the best possible outcome all the time. And they are very outcome driven. So coming into week 4, there is a really great outcome. If you have a family, it's a beautiful, beautiful time for you and your family to get together and celebrate. But there will be some definite celebration going on, because whatever you've achieved, oh my goodness, could you get any luckier? I want to be a Scorpio. This is the luckiest Lenormand card that is possible. So in the deck, this is the one we just go, all thumbs up, it is shiny, golden. So you have a really good month of just getting rid of the old, getting the answers that you're looking for, considering these things, and then watching them flourish. So it is a really good time to be a Scorpio. There are going to be so many different aspects of your life that are coming together, and they're all looking good. So we have a lot of, you know, we've got our swords, we've got our wands, we've got our cups, we've got so many different facets of our life as a Scorpio that are just very sunny. So enjoy that ride, Scorpio, because you're getting the answers that you're looking for. The ideas are coming in, you're able to execute them, you're feeling clear-minded and ready to go. So I wish you all the best with these exciting ventures, Scorpio. Welcome, Sagittarius, to your February 2025 reading. Let's see what this month has for you. Beautiful. Okie dokie. Well, firstly, we can see week 1, it's going to be an inwards time for you. So this is a very Sagittarius approach to things, to take that time to go in and ponder everything. So you are going to receive the opportunity to be able to spend that time to really listen to the answers and retreat. It's not maybe going to be the most social week for you. So if some things come up, and if you are debating whether to go out and be eccentric or whether to stay in and, you know, spend some time alone, choose the time alone, because that's where you're going to get the most benefits. So the bear means something big, right? So it means a prominent thing. So this is really it will be important for you to take that time in. It may be taking a day off of work, or, you know, really carving out a day where you just tap out. It's really important for you to be in this time of darkness in a way, and just unplug, you know, switch off, try to carve out some time where you're not answering the phone. You really are in this little cocoon of self. So because there is something that's really prominent that's sitting there for you with that, and whether you're looking for some answers or whether you just really need to soothe your nervous system and retreat, you know, the bear does retreat. It hibernates and takes the time inwards. The hermit is hibernation, the bear hibernates. It is really, really important for you to take that time and go inwards and just tap out. It could be longer. It could be, maybe you need more than a week. Maybe you need a little bit longer. Maybe February is your month where you really start to go inwards. So coming into week 2 in the Queen of Swords, so that communication with yourself is going to be so important. So you are ready now to kind of come out a little bit. So if that first week was really important for you to cocoon yourself away, maybe week 2 you're starting to feel a little bit more ready to come back into the world, have the conversations, make the plans, you know, sit in your strong feminine energy, whether you're male or female. That Queen of Swords could also represent like a strong female figure for you as well. So if it's a leader and someone that you look up to, they may be giving you some answers and some things. If you're working with like a spiritual leader or someone like that, that you like a mentor, someone that you're getting information from, after coming inwards, they may be ready to present something to you that's going to be quite beneficial. And they also may be ready to tell you what you're doing wrong. So you may be getting the answers from this time inwards. You may be ready just to be like, I can see it now, like I'm ready, like whip yourself back into place. But also don't be surprised if somebody with some answers and somebody in a position to do so actually just calls you out. So you may need calling out, you may need an ending, you may need to be told to stop. You may need to be told to do something differently. And so someone's going to come and crack the whip on you. But it's necessary because you're ready to make a change, and that's going to come. There's a softness to it too. It's not going to feel like, you know, you're not going to be in trouble. You're just ready for someone to be like, hey, stop. So if that's like a best friend or someone like that, it's going to be that friend that just says to you, like, enough is enough. You need to stop this. So I think it's in your interest to listen to this person and make that change. Coming into week 3 with the Lovers, and I love to just make sure that we're on what kind of track we're on with that one. So a time of inwards again. So with the Lovers, it can be a relationship. If you're getting married in this month, this will be a beautiful time for you to actually to be getting married and to be making a commitment, which is beautiful. If you are single, there's going to be a lot of time to be able to like sit with yourself and enjoy some self-care and really like, you know, embrace the self-love, because it's going to feel really nourishing and beneficial to you. And if you're not looking for, like if you're looking for a relationship, and again, like a good little omen for that too. So anything to do with like love and partnership and taking care of one another or yourself, this is the time to do that. Moving into week 4, we see the Knight of Swords. So like a real action card, like a real sort of like, there are some big words being said, some big things, but there's like a real newness in this as well. So after this sort of like time of inwards and sort of like nourishing relationships around you, you may be ready to like arc up, ready for March. So after February, you've done some planning, you've had some time off, you've had some time to relax and sort of connect, and you're kind of ready to charge now with some extra things. So yeah, we kind of double that. So with the Traveler, there's a rider, this is like information coming in. You might notice as well, like both of these cards are not actually like charging forward. They're sort of kind of charging back. So they're not ready to be actioned yet. They're not actually action cards. They feel like action. And so this is a lot more when like things kind of like feel like they're bubbling up and they're becoming like a new thing, but they're not ready to like, you don't know enough yet, and there's not enough in place to be able to have that be actioned in a way that has enough substance to it to be able to be beneficial. So keep going with this, because it's inevitable that these messages are going to be coming in. There's a huge pull towards those things. So it's going to be so important for you to regain your energy, really take that time inwards and allow for that time that you're going to need to be action and all guns blazing. Okay, best of luck to you, Sagittarius. Welcome, Capricorn. February 2025. Let's see what this month has for you. You have just come out of your birthday season, so you are kind of in a new life phase and a new year this time of month anyway. Coming into February. So if you've had a birthday later, like earlier in January, or whether you are coming, you know, you've just come off of your birthday, you're in a new life phase. So this is a big time for you, regardless of, you know, what you've got going on. I can see here that you may have a bit going on. So first week of Feb, there is a real sort of like battle of the wills going on. So you may find that you're sort of like in negotiation with a lot of people. You may be finding yourself in some arguments, just like coming up against some real frustration because you've got ideas, you've got things that you want to bring to the party, and maybe not everybody is on board, or they might not have the ideas that resonate with yours. So you may be kind of bumping heads with each other. This is definitely like to do with your thoughts and your views on things. So it could be around your ideas in spirituality. It could be just like your core values of how you choose to live your life and run your life. So you could be butting heads against people, especially coming into a new phase in your in your year, in your life. You are coming in with a freshness. You are another year older, so you are another year wiser, and you may be finding yourself wanting to have some new beginnings for yourself. And you are at the beginning of the year as well, so you get kind of double the amount of this like seeking for newness, which can feel like a lot. It's like a lot to manage for yourself, and it's a lot for everybody else around you when you're so excited about all these new things happening. But let that unfold. And the tricky thing is, I don't see that getting any easier for you coming into week 2. So week 2 is, we've got the Tower card, and so it's a big upheaval. So this could be really prevalent for you if you are, in your Saturn return of any of your life phases. This can be really huge time for you of like growth and moving forward. Yeah. So anything that's sitting there that's like nibbling away at what you've got going on, at your life and, in your sort of world, it's going to feel really huge right now. So you're going to need to be like really aware of the things that are actually like eroding at your life, and at yourself, because it's undeniable that this is a huge first couple of weeks for you in February. It's going to feel like a lot. So luckily, we've got the Page of Swords. Oh, there we go. We've got some sunshine, finally. You're going to want that after this like time of darkness. So coming in with the Page of Swords, we've started to get some new ideas. So the Page and the Knight, we've got some new things coming in. So after this time of darkness and this time of retreat, this time of upheaval and a lot of endings, you're going to be starting to rebuild and heal. So this is a beautiful card to receive over something like the Page of Swords, where we're getting a little bit of clarity. So these are new ideas. These are like the brand new sort of like messages that are coming in after you have like cleared off a huge big load out of your life. So they're not ready to act upon yet. So they are really just like fresh new ideas. This is the time of retreat and healing. This is not the time to go and action everything. This is not the time to go and, jump back in and, do all the new things. This is just the time of like receiving the messages and starting to rebuild your thoughts around things, rekindle those relationships or find new relationships that are going to assist you moving forward. But it's a good time to do it. So you are like well blessed in that time, and there is like a definite light at the end of the tunnel. And the Knight of Wands, there we go, coupled with the time. So coupled with the Sanctuary card. So we're definitely looking at the need to retreat and to find somewhere that you can be within yourself or even within your surroundings to rebuild and reset. Moving into that fourth week, there's going to be like, this is sort of a newness and like very fragile in a way, whereas like coming into that last kind of week of February, there's a little bit more drive and a little bit more fire. So things are starting to feel a little bit more ready to get into action. So I would say that come March, you're a little bit more ready to make those changes. So being such a new year for you in so many ways, this is like the shake up to like cut through. This is going to feel like a huge time to be able to like manage, and I would not want to underestimate how that's going to feel for you. But on the bright side, we do have some answers come through. So with endings, often a new beginnings, and you will be well cared for and well looked after in this time. you know, you'll receive those messages and you'll receive the new ideas and the softness and a softer place to land after such a massive beginning to the month. So all the best for you, Capricorn. I do wish you luck because this is going to be a big month for you. But I do feel like you'll have a softer end towards the end of February. Blessed be. Welcome, Aquarius. February 2025. This is your month. This is your birthday month. This is your sun sign. So this is the time when all of your outwards expeditions, all of the way that you like to present to the world is a huge part of your life and your time coming into the new year. So it's a big one because you're at the start of the year. So you get coupled with the idea of a new year and all of those exciting New Year's things, but you also have the newness of your birthday. So this is a big time for you. Let's see what the month wants for you this time. Now this is pretty light, which is lovely. Okay, so there has been very few readings that haven't started with an ace or a page or a knight. So we have a lot of new beginnings for everybody this year and this month, which makes sense. You know, February is still very fresh into the year. So week 1, we are looking at some new ideas, some newness, some real sort of like moments of sort of sparking some ideas. I'm getting the sense that this is like a good dreaming time for you. So you'll be receiving a lot of messages in your dreams. So they're not going to feel maybe that clear straight away. They might feel a little bit like harder to decipher and a little bit foggy, but there are some new messages coming through. And so it's a really great time to sort of like lean into these new ideas and see if you can back them up with a little bit of dream work. So this is a really nice time for you to maybe look at some dream work, you know, look into some lucid dreaming and things like that, so that you can try to remember and understand a little bit deeper what those messages are saying for you. Some dream journaling and things like that are a really great idea. So coupled with the icy mountain here, the iceberg, it is a little bit harder to decipher. So you might feel like there's like a coldness and a little bit like it's a little bit tricky to understand. You might feel like you're sort of like up against some things. So it's hard to see, you know, like round the other side, like, you know, think Titanic, like we didn't see it coming. It can be under the water, it can be above, but regardless, like you don't know what's on the other side of an iceberg. So when you are really sort of like, you know, shuffling through these ideas that you're having, you won't know straight away what's on the other side. And we can see that in, you know, the cloudiness of the Ace of Wands. It's there and it's new, but we don't know where it's going yet. So it's very much in its early stages, which is to kind of be expected when you're coming into a new time in so many ways between your birthday and the new year. Moving into week 2, when we see a authority figure, so whether that's like a boss, a father, you know, a strong female around you, like it's probably going to be more of that masculine energy, but we're definitely looking at, you know, a person in a place of authority. I'm getting the sense that it's work. So the tower in Lenormand is not the same as the tower in tarot. The tower in tarot is definitely that upheaval. In Lenormand, it's actually more like to do with the structure, and so to do with things like work, or if you work from home, that can be this can be that as well. So in your workplace, you're going to be dealing with a strong leader. So if this kind of plays into that, like maybe you are looking at, you know, collaborating more or getting some, you know, it might be like a promotion or like a conversation with, you know, your boss, or some new things that you can bring to the party. If you work for yourself, maybe like a mentor or somebody that you can sort of like lean in towards to get some new ideas. Or you might be ready to start to finish a relationship there and be moving into the next kind of thing. Maybe you're wanting to look at changing jobs and working for yourself. Because moving into week 3, we've sort of got that new like philanthropist kind of energy kind of going on as well. So, you know, the Page of Cups is again started like quite a new and early stages of things. but it's very fruitious. So the cups represent our emotions, but we've also got the fish, which represents finances and money and abundance and like wealth. And so, you know, whatever you've got kind of coming up is definitely something that's going to be really rich in abundance for you and very fruitious. And we're coming in with the female. So whether that is to represent yourself, if you're a female, that's definitely representing this like strength that you have in this situation. So I'm getting this kind of feeling of being a little bit more autonomous in your workplace. And so if not, there could be maybe you're changing jobs and you might have worked for a male before, you might be working for a female now. Or, you know, you may find if you're working for yourself that you find another strong female to guide you. So whatever this, it's definitely sort of like that work relationship and mentor kind of energy that I'm getting around a lot of these. Like there's a lot of reaching out to people and seeing how they can best assist you, and how you can collaborate, because you've got ideas and they're fairly new, but you do have ideas. The Hierophant is to do with that sort of like completion in a way of that authoritative kind of state. And it's to the point where like before you were, you or this other person were sort of like running on, you know, day to day kind of knowing. Now we're moving into this like deeper intuitive kind of way, and people are starting to listen to you. They're starting to like want to follow what you have to say. So that's really interesting coming off of this. And this is the luckiest card in the Lenormand deck. So if people are listening to you, whatever you have to say is going to be like of gold. Or if you have found somebody, like based on this sort of picture of like if you're working for someone else and looking for a mentor, you're really going to be finding somebody who can guide you to actually give you some really great outcome. And they will be honest and truthful, and you'll feel like they'll bring you good luck. You know, those people that you work with and then you feel so inspired and lucky after working with them. So this is where we're heading with this. So it's a lot of interplay between, you know, your work and your relationships. But I think it's definitely heading in your favor. And you can really, you know, utilize those relationships to grow, because everything from this is positive. It's all really, you know, fruitious and abundant and nourishing and positive. So there's a lot of luck coming your way. So good things for a birthday month, Aquarius. I feel very excited for you. You're growing, you're putting things in place, you're really like networking, and it's a really good time when you're so full of life and energy around your birthday time. So good luck to you. I wish you all the best moving through your birthday time. Welcome, Pisces, to your February 2025 reading. February is an interesting time for you because it is coming close to your, you know, end of your year cycle, and your birthday is coming up fairly soon, moving into next month. So let's see what we've got for you coming towards some ends of cycles. Okay, so first week of February, you are just like moving towards the finishing line. You are charging forward. You are full of energy and ready to like just see things through to the end. So you are well supported in this time. So utilize whatever you've got around you to help you to get towards those endings and that finish line. If you're starting to feel depleted, if you're starting to feel low on energy, like gather your resources, you know, find those things that can help carry you through, because there's a lot that wants to support you. Like if you reach out, those things will be there to help support you moving forward. So again, this is like chatter and conversation. So like network, reach out to people. I'm really getting this sense that at the moment you may be feeling low energy and just ready to, you know, see an end to a lot of things, but you're on like the home stretch. So really like lean into, it's the Chariot. So, you know, you are held, you are carried, and there are some good, you know, good resources around you to help support you. Have those conversations, speak up, speak to people, you know, like reach out and find those new information if you need to. The information is there. So if you're looking for something and you're looking for some clarity on something, the information is sitting there. All you need to do is just like put the feelers out and it'll come to you. Coming into the second week of Feb, it's like a bit of a, like, it's going to feel like a slug. Like you're feeling like you're like having trouble moving forward. So maybe some conversations, like you're tired of having these conversations and you're ready to move on. There may be some like heavier conversations needing to be had. Like there is time to move on from a couple of things. So if there's some things that you were feeling like you needed to like move away from, and things that were maybe hard, because they're not going to be like easy things to let go. They're actually like trickier things. This card is kind of heavy. So maybe you've had this conversation time and time again with somebody or around a certain situation, and it's like, it's not going anywhere from here on in. Like it's time just to like grab the things that you've learned from it, take the things that you need, like rug up and just like journey forwards, because, you know, we've got limited time to deal with these kind of things. So that's a nice light card to get over that. So there's a lightness in this as well. This could be to do with things like your values and like your belief systems too. Like if you are like part of a group of people who believe one thing and you're realizing that your beliefs don't actually align with that, it is time to move forward. And actually, coming from the Chariot card, you may already be feeling like that is time to do that. It may be just that final step into the next thing that you need to do to be able to move forward. So if your core values and your belief systems are like not aligning with the people around you, it is not in your benefit to stay around that, and it is time to have those like tricky conversations and pull away, especially coming into week 3 when we see actually some like freshness and newness. So if you can kind of, you know, release some of the hold that some of these things have on you, some of these heavy conversations and these relationships around you, you will actually be looking at some fresh new ideas of things and some really beneficial, abundant looking kind of things. So the Page of Cups is, you know, it really is abundant, and it's bringing like new things and new ideas and like those sort of like these fresh feelings around things. So what might have felt heavy before starts to actually feel really right, and it's exciting. Coming from maybe some of that old energy before, just be aware when there's some old beliefs and thought patterns around that too, because if you've got some exciting new things happening, you're not going to want this sort of like old nibbling toxic energy around you. So you will need to still be, you can't, it may not be just be like a clean cut between moving away, like you may be still journeying out of this situation. So the Mouse is like that toxic energy, and it's one of the like more sort of like negative cards of the Lenormand. So it's one to pay attention to. It's like a little bit heavier hitting than some of the other cards. So like it's definitely a warning to pay attention to. So you do need to, you know, you might be starting to feel good, which is great. That's what you want. You've made the changes. So, but there will be some like things still kind of nibbling away at that. So just kind of keep moving forward and don't let those sort of like toxic energies and those toxic conversations and people and things like that around you keep infiltrating the benefit that you're having. Because again, coming into week 4, like things are wanting to come to you. So you may need to pause for a moment to see how far you've come, because there are some good benefits in your way, like in your, not in your way, in your life, in a good way for you. So pause for a moment, see how far you've come, because there is the good luck on your side and the notion for abundance to come in. You've been working really hard. Like we can see that there has been a lot of hard work, you know, leaning towards you, and you've been doing you've been doing the work. The Bear is when there's something, it's big, like, so the Bear coupled with this card, that's really interesting too, because like the Bear is like, there's a real bigness to it, but it's also about hibernating. And so you may need to take some time to actually like take yourself away and count your own blessings and see how far you've come. Maybe you might need to take yourself aside and sort out your finances. You know, maybe it's a good time to be saving rather than spending. So just like, it's a real kind of notion to pause and to like retreat a little bit Maybe you've been spending a lot of money and you try to save at the moment. This is a good time to actually like pull your resources. Maybe like, you know, when we're looking at things like the mouse nibbling away at abundance, you know, maybe there are some things that are actually like pulling a little bit of, you know, like nibbling away at you. So like things like maybe you need to go and, you know, sort out a better insurance company, or like maybe you need to go and check your accounts and making sure that there's nothing like hacking your accounts and things like that, because these mouse can really be that like hacking energy. So a really good time to just like retreat for a little while, take that last week to reset and relook at your finances, like retreat a little bit, look at some savings, and maybe put in a little bit of a plan for how you can grow, because you've got these new ideas and you're ready to move forward. You're ready to let a lot of things go and you're ready to make some change. There's a lot of narrative that you're tired of hearing. You're tired of having these conversations and it's weighing on you. So we can see that you're ready to move forward, and that it's going to be the works on you to just like release little bit by little bit those things that are actually, you know, lacking in positivity and actually like not for your highest benefit. So a lot of action for you this month in what you are being asked to do, but it's all moving forward, and, you know, just keep chipping away at just untangling all those little things that don't serve you anymore, because you're ready to rise above it. Good luck to you, Pisces.